You are in the middle of a crucial phase of your project when your project team runs into a regulatory roadblock that they haven't encountered before. Realizing that a delay could derail the project timeline, what should be your first step, your first action? So I understand, looks like we are into the crucial phase. The question is showing we are dealing with impediment blocker obstacle. We learned that. And we also learned that this impediment or obstacle has a potential impact on the project timelines. Let's look at the option. Option A, arrange a meeting with the project stakeholders to inform them of the potential delays. It focuses on communication, it focuses on interactive communication, arrange a meeting, and it is focusing on that it is better to keep things transparent. So why don't I go and present the idea to my stakeholder? Looks like a potential option. The only risk here is if I get an opportunity to do some kind of homework, because from the question it is showing is that my team has encountered something and there is no clarity I have done my homework or not. If I get some option where it can show me that I do a homework and then I go to the stakeholder, then it looks good idea rather than directly going to the stakeholders. But it looks a potential option when it depends upon what we see in our next choices. Usually we follow communication management plan. There could be some triggers which are mentioned in our communication management plan which will require immediate escalation. There will be other places where project manager is expected to do some homework and then go to the stakeholder to inform them. So we are not clear it's an escalation point or it can allow the homework, but in general I can assume I should see an option here where I can do homework. Option B, consult the project charter to find an alternative solution. So project charter has very less role here. If I get an option which talks about consult the project management plan to find out what should I do here, that looks great, yeah, because it helps me in analyzing before the action of my event or action of the impediment. But project charter contains very summary level information. We don't expect project charter telling me the escalation path, the possible alternative, the change control process. So that all is not available in project charter. So I could create a lot of confusion if this option was talking about project management plan, but fortunately it is not, so we can ignore the B option safely. So out of A and B, we have A as a high candidate, but B is not the right candidate. Option C, connect with peers from other organization in your professional network who have done similar project in the same jurisdiction. Now, when I was designing this question, the option C, I wanted to bring to point out attention that we may, as a project manager, need to go beyond project team and project stakeholder to take care of impediment and obstacle. I designed this question for option C. Let's understand it. In our task 7 of a people domain, which talks about address and remove impediment, obstacle, and blocker for the team, we have a subtask which they call it enabler, which clearly mentioning use network to implement solution to remove impediments, obstacles, and blocker for the team. So you are expected to use your resources as a project manager. You are expected to be a resourceful person. You are expected to have a leadership skills, influential skills. And when such situation arises, you should use them to find out where are we, what should we do, because we may use some of the best practices from other organization and other projects. And that also helps me in taking an option that this option is talking about analyzing the thing before we act or before we escalate or before we talk about it to the stakeholder. I need to do some homework, because if I go without homework to my stakeholder, they will ask me, okay, what do you expect from us? You are the project manager, you should come with the solutions rather than only bringing problems to us. Yeah. So this is the option, and this help us as a learner to remember that we need to go beyond project stakeholders also in order to take assistance when the impediment, blockers, or obstacles are coming. The another point to keep in mind is we also need to exhibit servant leadership whenever the impediment, blockers, obstacles are coming, so that we really help the team to get things moving rather than they get blocked because of these impediment. Option D, request the team to work overtime to figure out a way around the roadblock. Now you understand that in general, overtime is a bad idea. So most of you might ignore it very, very clearly, which is a great thing to do. Another thing also need to be kept in mind that in general, I should focus on using my skills and competency to reduce impediments and roadblock rather than pushing team to do it, because I should help the team to continue working on what they are working as per their project objectives, as per their project goals. And I am the one who takes care of the external environmental things so that they get a clean road which they can continue working on the project objectives. So looking at these all four options, the option C is something which is pointing out that as a project manager, I need to use my network, which is pointing out that I should do my homework before I go to the stakeholder. That's why I'm removing the option A, which was a candidate option here. And we can say that I need to exhibit servant leadership.